wasn't here when we did get Debbie Campbell's party. We weren't here. David, how did you know he was here for Debbie Campbell's party too? Well, come and just go. He did the party. I said, no, I'm here. The whole party's here. He was here for Debbie Campbell's party. He said, that was, maybe I shouldn't say that. Did you say that? Did you mean Dennis?
No, I haven't.
No, Missy can't want to come up here and talk to me at all. No.
I've been trying to make sense. No, I'm sorry.
I think so.
Yeah, first report on steps and see if they can help.
How did we got started? Filling it in.
Well, that's what you want me to do. I did mine. Are you reading windows around or? I don't know. I haven't worked since 4 o'clock. So, well, actually, no, I got to show you the picture of the time. Okay, so good. Fraser for me tonight, 653-2630.
He's in Puerto Rico.
He's doing
Still nice, but
okay, bye-bye.
convention, you know? They always meet in exotic places. Yeah, he is.
No. Let's see what we're back here with. You know what I can do? Look down here.
Great shots.
You got it?
Got it. Go slide.
1, 2, 3, slide. You better have it. That's
Okay.
it.
Wow.
My name's on there?
Yeah.
Then grab that picture.
Do what?
Grab the picture.
Oh, at the end.
We know what this is about, don't we?
I was just thinking all
Hello, Lieutenant Davis. It's Shimmy Bucket. Sorry I couldn't make it to your retirement party, but I've been down in Jamaica dodging bullets from SWAT teams. They thought I was a smuggler. Can you believe that? Congratulations on 30 years in the West Palm Force. You guys do a great job. Have a great party. Hope you make it to Margaritaville, because I don't even know where the hell it is. Have fun. See you.
I knew you'd come through.
Just keep it there.
And we hope everybody's having a good time on a Friday night. Can we hear you say yeah? All right. Well, we're all focusing our attention here on this head table here, and over the course of the next few minutes, we are going to administer our salutations to Mr. J.W. Davis. A very good friend of mine, and I'm sure most of all of y'all's. So, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to bring up one of J.W.'s best friends, Russ Bruce, to get the ball rolling here tonight. But before we do that, just a real quick hand for the people that are running the bar and the food table back there. They did a good job. All right, all right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the moving on to a different life of J.W. Davis, we'll bring up Russ Bruce to talk a little bit more about it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I know there's some ladies out there and some gentlemen. I'm sure I've seen a few of them here. We appreciate you. We appreciate you all coming out tonight to assist us in celebrating J.W. Davis's retirement party. I'm getting signals from the back. I gotta check with my technical man here. As Andy said, my name is Russ Bruce. I'm happy to be here tonight. Get up on that mic, Russ. Love that mic. Love that mic. Love that mic. Okay, I'd like to yank it right out of here. Bend over. The other way. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming here tonight. It's a very special occasion for all of us. Many of us may have wondered whether or not this would ever actually occur. But he made it after 28 and a half years of dedicated service to the West Palm Beach Police Department. We have a host of guest speakers that are going to come up here tonight to assist us in celebrating J.W.'s retirement. And what I'd like to do right now is somewhat give a little bit of a chronology or a little time capsule of Lieutenant James Wilson Davis. Just want to check and make sure he was listening. I know he's in good shape. Y'all hear me in the back? No? We're doing the best we can. We're doing the best we can. If you can't hear us in the back, come to the front. Shut up! I'd like to start off. J.W. Davis was hired July 17th, 1967. One of the most enjoyable things I've done in some time was to go through his personnel file. Very, very interesting. I thought about all the stories that I'd like to be able to tell, gave a little more consideration and realized I couldn't tell, and then I had to figure out what I was actually going to say. One of the things I'd like to take and read to you was part of the background investigation, and I think that it's a statement that really characterizes J.W. Davis as we all know him here. Background investigation has revealed that James Davis is a very nice young man. Industrious, sensible, reliable, and willing to accept responsibility. Now I know that's the man that I've known for many years.
As I checked a little bit further in his employment jacket, I saw his former employment. Now, I've heard these stories of him being a musician, and it was listed in there in his background investigation as having played at the Candy Bar nightclub as part of the London Shades. Now, I understand that if we're lucky, maybe a little bit later on in the evening, we may hear some of his earlier musical accomplishments. And I know that there's many of the folks that have retired for some time that can appreciate this, but as I was looking through the personnel jacket, I also noticed what his rate of pay was when he hired on. Now figure this was July 17th of 1967. $2.31 an hour.
Worth every penny.
Now the overtime rate was better, $3.47.
Whoa, feedback.
It's not me, Barb. And his present hourly rate as he retires is $26.85 an hour.
All right. Well worth it. Is this as you speak?
As we speak. Barbara's already checked on it. As I was going through the file, I went to November 15th, 1967. Now figure this is only 4 or 5 months after he was hired. And I came across an incident in there that was obviously erroneously filed in his personnel file. There's no question in my mind. The only thing really that I'm at liberty to discuss right now in front of everyone, of course I may say a few words to some of you later, was that apparently there was an incident at the Candy Bar Lounge. And when the first officer arrived at the Candy Bar Lounge, he said to the officer, the bartender said, "Pardon me, officer, but I found this .45 automatic.
Sorry, Russ.
I think it belongs to one of your officers." I won't discuss that any further at this point.
I'll have to add that Chief Barnes only gave me 10 days for that.
I didn't bring that up. I talked to your wife about it and she said, "Don't embarrass him." July 16th, 1968, he started his professional police motorcycle career. Many of you in here have shared that same experience, I'm sure. He was assigned to the downtown Honda detail. I know that's probably where this all started. I don't know where Barb got all these pictures over here because it actually appeared as though he knew how to take and ride a motorcycle over there.
Okay, go ahead, Russ.
February 15th, 1970, he was assigned to the traffic division, and during the course of the next 3.5 years, he served in various capacities within the traffic division, as many of you in here may know. Motorcycle officer, accident investigator, and he went back and forth between those over the course of the 3.5 years. December 6, 1973, he was promoted to the rank of sergeant, assigned to the patrol division. I get these dates, sorry?
Yeah, fine.
In 1978, he had the very prestigious experience that many of us in here have also shared. He had the opportunity, and I see it that it's capsulized in photograph form over here. He had the opportunity to attend the University of Louisville, the Advanced Police Administrative Officers course for 3 months. After that, which was February of '79, he was promoted to the rank of lieutenant, and he was assigned to the patrol division. I hope everybody's paying attention back there. There's going to be a test on that. I did find one disturbing event that occurred on November 17th, 1983. And I say this in somewhat of a somber tone. I see that Lieutenant James W. Davis was suspended for 1 day. The caption was, "Spitting on a prisoner." Anyway, he didn't let that stop him. He moved beyond that hurdle. And in September of '84, he was transferred to the Special Investigative Unit. Some of you have seen his portrait over here, I believe, in his suit with a growth of on his lower jowl. His days in vice.
High spot of my career.
The high spot of his career, he indicates.
High spot.
May of 1985, he was transferred to the Detective Division, and he was put in charge of the Crime Against Property Squad. December of '88, he was transferred within the Detective Division, and he was assigned as the squad commander for the Crime Against Persons section. In 1990, he became commander of the newly formed, are you ready? Intelligence Unit. I know we had the right man there.
You had to look the word up the dictionary.
Well, it was hard to take and beat that, but in April of '94, after 2 years in that position, he transferred down to the patrol division and became the administrative lieutenant. That's where I'm headed. I'm headed there. I can say what I want. I'm the guy up there. Several months later, he was transferred over to the traffic section as the section commander. In June of '95, June 18th, and I know this was probably one of the highlights of his career, one of the most enjoyable moments, I'm sure, he was transferred within the patrol division as a platoon commander.
That did it.
And I think it was soon after that that I had one of those conversations with him over a couple lemonades that he said, you know, I think I've about had enough. You can start planning my retirement party now. Beyond the many assignments that I've already mentioned throughout his career, he was also involved, as many of us in here are aware of, as the commander, as a member and a commander of many of the police department's specialty teams. He started the color guard. He was a member and later became a commander of the SWAT team, and also was the driving force behind the dive team, as many of us in here are aware of. Many of these areas that I've touched on already, there's folks that are going to come up and speak to them specifically. As I mentioned earlier, as I was going through his personnel file, I noticed numerous letters of accommodation for Lieutenant James W. Davis. These range from acts of valor, acts of high distinguished police valor, to befriending elderly citizens on Flagler Drive. But, yes, you're right, I'm going to talk about the dog. One of his most noteworthy accommodations was his daring, and I say daring, rescue of an exhausted, drowning puppy from the Intercoastal Waterway. And unbeknownst to me, Barbara has captured this, and it's portrayed over here, several of the newspaper articles. I'm just going to read you a short excerpt from that. Lieutenant J.W. Davis with the West Palm Beach Police Department rescued an exhausted puppy fighting for its life in the Intercoastal Waterway. Now, this is the kinder, more gentle side of Lieutenant Davis that many of us may not have seen. Lieutenant Davis took the puppy home after toweling him off. The puppy and its owner were reunited after a neighbor saw the article in the Palm Beach Post. Then I had to go through all those letters of accommodation relating to this puppy. I counted 22 letters. These letters ranged from the Animal Rights Foundation, which had 2,000 members, to the Manatee Rescue Operation, to the director of the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism. But most importantly, and many folks in here may be able to appreciate this, there was a letter from a female professional wrestler named Lisa Hangel, known as the Adjuster. At this time, I would like to invite Assistant Chief Rick Bradshaw up, and he's going to make a presentation on behalf of Chief Riggs.
before I give Jim this plaque, I just want to give him a personal note. He's probably worked for me in every capacity that there is on the police department. And one thing I can say about JW is that he has exhibited a quality which is in short supply in recent times, and that quality is loyalty. Everything that JW has done over the years, he's done to the best of his ability. I can certainly say that...
Tell him, Chief, tell him!
I'd like to say it.
Hey, knock that shit off!
Thank you, Pat.
You got it, Chief, anytime, buddy. Almost 17 people.
I can certainly say that everything that I've given JW as an assignment, he's done to the best of his ability, and he's shown a great degree of dedication. I've certainly relied on him. I appreciate his loyalty, and a personal thanks to you, JW, for everything you've done. On behalf of the police department, we have a set of badges that ranges from patrolman to his present rank. And it says, to Lieutenant J.W. Davis, ID 199, for 28 years of dedicated service to the West Palm Beach Police Department, 7/17/67, 1/19/96. Thank you. The next person that I'm going to call up here to the podium, I can probably spend about 20 minutes introducing them, but all I have to do is say one word, and everybody in the room is going to know who it is. Chief?
My first experience with Mr. J.W. Davis was, I was fishing on a lake up in northern Minnesota in 1967. Bill Tyer called me on the telephone and asked me if I could please get my back to West Palm Beach. I said, "Oh, do you know where I am?" And he said, "Yes," but he said, "Things are going to hell back here." He said, "There's a lumber company on fire up in Rivera," and he said, "They've threatened to burn down West Palm Beach tonight," and he said, "We've hired a guy by the name of J.W. Davis." And I said, "Well, which is the worst?" He said, "Take your choice." And over the years, when they asked me if I would like to come out to this retirement party, I said I sure would, because I really and truly never thought I'd live to see it. Rick Bradshaw said it all when he said that there is a bunch of loyalty there, and that he did every job to the best of his ability. And he really did. He did the jobs to the best of his ability. They called me one time and said, "One of your motorcycle officers has been hurt." I said, "Who is it?" They said, "J.W. Davis." I said, "How bad's he hurt?" They said, "He's pretty bad." I said, "Where is he?" He said, "He's laying under his motorcycle." So I went down there, and there's J.W. laying under his motorcycle, groaning, looking out of the corner of his eye, you know. I was laying down, I said, "Are you hurt, J.W.?" He said, "I think my back's broke." Other officer was standing over there. working the accident, and he said to the driver of the car, he said, "Who's your insurance man?" He said, "Insurance." He said, "I ain't got no insurance." J.W. got up and said, "What the heck?" He said, "You got 3 days for skinning up your motorcycle." My doorbell rang one night, and my wife peeked out. My wife peeked out there, and I said, "Who is it?" She said, "Good God, I don't know." So I went to the door, and I looked out there, and there was the scraggliest, nastiest looking thing that you ever saw on my front doorstep. He had on black clothes, hung down all over, rusty looking old clothes. Long, scraggly hair. Looked like he puked all over himself. It's the truth, isn't it, J.W.?
Yes, sir, it is.
So I stuck my head out there, and I said, "What do you want?" He looked at me like this. He said, "Trick or treat." "Trick or by God treat, you better get your ass off this front yard. I'll call the police." "I am the police." If you work for me, you damn well better have a treat for me. Trick your ass. So he had a treat for me. He gave me some smoked kingfish. Back in those days, you didn't eat shark. It was shark. J.W. was one of my best friends. He used to come up to see me quite often. It was always a treat. But he always started it off the same way. He'd say, "Chief, I want to tell you my side of it." J.W. ain't got no side. J.W., I'm not going to say anything else. I could tell some things that are in that file. And I could also explain some of those letters. Some of those letters came to me and said, "Dear Chief Barnes, one of your men deserves to be commendated." Said, "He does everything with the best thoughts of the police department in mind. And I do the very best that I can." He's a good man, and I'm really happy to see that you did make it. There were many serious times when it was a toss-up. And thank you so much for having me here. Thank you. And no one will know what we just said. I should have done that with that music.
Chief, thank you very much. I feel sorry for anyone that has to follow behind the chief after those comments. At this time, I'd like to invite Jose Rodriguez up, please.
list out. Those of us who worked for Chief Barnes, I mean, that was funny, wasn't it? Do y'all remember him being that funny when he was our chief? The years have been kind to you, Chief. Yes, you have. Yeah, that was great. I could tell a bunch of stories on JW.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I could probably even provide some background information on that candy bar in 1960. That's thing, but we're not going to. We're not going to. I'm going to keep it real brief. Y'all have seen these pictures of JW on motorcycles and doing daredevil stuff, and it would appear he's a pretty good motorcycle rider. But I can remember when we rode bikes, civilian bikes, us riding one night, we had David Hughes here. I didn't see him. All right. That's why I asked. I thought I might bring that up. Anyway, I'm not even sure he was there. I just asked that. There were about 4 of us riding, including this crazy man named Scooter Bradley from the sheriff's office. And we're all riding. Everything's going fine. We're, you know, up and down the road, you know, going, I think, Fort Lauderdale or something. And for some reason, this mighty experienced motorcycle rider, pictures up here, pictures there, he and Scooter Bradley decide that they're just going to tangle motorcycles on South Dixie Highway at Southern Boulevard for no good reason. 4 experienced motorcycle riders. These guys just leave the light in the middle of the intersection and go, both of them together now, you think it was a drill team. Boom! Bam! What was that? That's our drill team, I believe. I'm glad they kept him from forming a drill team for the West Palm PD motorcycle squad. Buddy, congratulations. Yeah, that's it. I'm not going to say anything more about it. Right line.
Is Sergeant Alex Barrett here? Now everybody else knows, too. At this time, I'd like to invite Sergeant Phil Rudin to come up to say a few words regarding the dive team.
Good evening. As you may know, the city of West Palm Beach has had a police dive team for over 20 years now. And the driving force behind the dive team the entire 20 years has been JW. He has advanced through the civilian certifying agencies up to master scuba instructor, which is the highest rating that is obtainable in sport diving. During the 20-year period of time that we've shared on the dive team, we've had literally dozens and dozens of people that have come and gone. One of the things about the dive team is that we spent more time off duty together than we have on duty. And I would like to relate some of those stories to you. However, the statute of limitations on a lot of them hasn't run out, and time is short. I can tell you that there are several islands that we're not allowed back on. And I'll leave it at that. The dive team has gotten together and we'd like to present you with this plaque. It says, to Lieutenant J.W. Davis, in appreciation of your leadership and training from the West Palm Beach Police Department dive team, July 75 to January 96, we are the most professional dive team in Palm Beach County, and it's as a result of JW and his wonderful instruction.
Now you know who took it.
Yeah, they have to let out of your belt. Well, let's wait.
I know you're probably getting tired of seeing me up here. Trying to find something. No more comments are necessary? That was our customized materials we used here. At this time, I'm coming up and I would like to speak regarding Lieutenant Davis's experience as it relates to the SWAT team. As I look around, I know that...
Russ, oh, you gotta wait 1 second.
You didn't tell me you were taping this, but I figured it out. As many of you are aware of, as I look around, there were a select group of individuals that started the West Palm Beach Police Department SWAT team. J.W. Davis was an integral member. I look out, I see Jerry Weinberg, I know he's there somewhere. There's a photograph, yes, I see him there. There's a photograph up here that displays a few of the others that attended the infamous SWAT school in Washington, D.C., hosted by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And no, I won't say any disparaging. I won't say any disparaging remarks because I know there's one of them here. The team was disbanded sometime after that and was restarted in 1979, and I was fortunate to be a member of the team at that time. Lieutenant Davis was what I would consider a mentor to me during that period of time. I looked up to him as a father, and he always had nothing but encouraging... No, I'm not going to make you cry. He always had nothing but encouraging words for me. I've always had a love for heights. I'm being rather fictitious about that. And I'll never forget the first time that I stood at the top of a building. There was a rope tying me down to the top of the building. As I slowly creeped to the edge, I continued to look over my shoulder and look down, and it looked like little ants 8 or 9 stories down. And as I got a little bit closer, he was there for me. Just as I was about to step off, he said, "Watch out, fat boy, I don't think that knot's gonna hold." I've never forgotten those encouraging words. And not that he's ever called me fat boy since. Anyway, at this point in time, I would like to take and present Lieutenant J.W. Davis with his plaque, and it reads, "For your many years of dedicated service as a member and later as a commander of West Palm Beach's finest SWAT team, January 1996. Thank you very much. And I know earlier I alluded to his presence, but at this time I would like to invite Special Agent Jim Acree of the Federal Bureau of Investigation up, please.
All right.
Love that mic, Jim. Get that close.
Oh, I never like hugging mics. I usually speak loud enough that everybody can hear me anyway. I've heard about all the letters that JW has... Closer? Dang. I've heard about all the letters that he's received over his many years of service. I'm here to discuss 2 letters that he's received recently. We can't talk about the third one because it has to do with my lack of candor when I describe him as a caring, sensitive, and whatever individual. So the first letter, and you know, with all these others you got, this probably won't mean a whole lot to you, but this one is from our special agent in charge in Miami. And this thing likes to talk back to me. I don't like that. It says, no? Okay, here we go. How much closer can I get? All right, guys. Yeah. First letter is to Lieutenant James W. Davis Jr., West Palm Beach Police Department. Dear J.W., now that name I recognized when I got the letter. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to extend the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI's, warmest wishes on your retirement from the West Palm Beach, Florida Police Department. I would like to take this opportunity to extend to you my personal thanks for all of the assistance rendered to the FBI during your 20, Russ doesn't it was 9, somebody said 28, I'm going with 29, year career in law enforcement. I also wish to pass on to you personally my hopes that your retirement brings you all the joy that you and Barbara deserve. I hope you find that the fishing and the diving adventures are those that can be bragged about in the years to come. On behalf of myself and all my associates, we wish you Godspeed as you enter this new and exciting phase of your life. Once again, if we can be of assistance to you, do not hesitate to call. Sincerely, Paul R. Phillips, Special Agent in Charge, FBI Miami. The other letter that I would like to discuss or read, if we might, and if this thing keeps coming at me, what can I say? This one says from the Office of the Director, Lieutenant James W. Davis, Jr. Dear Lieutenant Davis, it is a pleasure to join you and your friends and colleagues as they honor you and congratulate you on your completion of 29 years in law enforcement. You must have many reasons to be proud of your career and the years you have devoted to serving the law enforcement needs of the citizens of West Palm Beach. I am sure you have received a great deal of satisfaction from the role you have played in the accomplishments of your department, and particularly in its special services units, which you supervise. I hope that your future endeavors will be just as rewarding. I would like to take this occasion to thank you for your support of the FBI. We have benefited immensely from your contributions to our investigative efforts. Your friends in the FBI, especially those assigned to our Palm Beach County Resident Agency, have enjoyed their contacts with you, which they will sorely miss. Please accept our warmest, best wishes for every happiness in the years to come. Sincerely yours, Louis J. Free, Director. One thing in leaving. Those of us that go through law enforcement meet a lot of people and walk away with only a few friends. To me, he's one of them.
Jim, thank you very much. I'm glad I didn't say anything bad. I don't know how much he paid you. No, in all seriousness, and I'm sure that he certainly appreciates those accolades that were bestowed, and thank you very much. At this time, I would like to invite Special Agent Mike Lafredo from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement.
All right.
JW, I tell you, listening to all this, JW, I feel exactly like Zsa Zsa Gabor's 8th husband. I know exactly what to do, but I don't know how to make it interesting.
Yeah, he's gonna think of me.
So instead of trying to make small talk, let me read this to you, JW. Okay, this is from the governor of the state of Florida. It's a proclamation in honor of the retirement of Lieutenant J.W. Davis, Jr. Whereas for the past 28 years, J.W. Davis, Jr. has been a dedicated, loyal, and committed public servant to the residents of West Palm Beach as a police officer, and whereas he began his law enforcement career in 1967 as a patrolman, rose through the ranks in patrol, dive team, SWAT, traffic division, and detective bureau, and whereas JW is well known as a fair and professional law enforcement officer and has seen the West Palm Beach Department grow from 60 plus members to its present 262, whereas he is being honored on January 1996 for his 28 years of faithful service to the state of Florida and the city of West Palm Beach. Now therefore I, Lawton Childs, Governor of the state of Florida, extend my personal greetings to J.W. Davis Jr. in honor of his more than 28 years of service, commend him for his dedication to justice and public order, offer congratulations on his accomplishments, and deem it a pleasure to join his fellow associates in wishing him a happy and healthy retirement. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the state of Florida to be affixed at Tallahassee, the capital, this 11th day of January in the year of our Lord, 1996, signed Lawton Childs, Governor.
I know it's a little tough. You don't know how tough it was to get him up here. There's only a few more folks, so just hold on. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to hold up here. The next gentleman that I would like to invite up is John Romano. I would also like to thank Mike for those very kind comments. Thank you.
I'd like to start with a toast. A toast to a warm and gracious human being, to a wonderful and beautiful and loyal friend, to one of the most decent individuals I've ever known, to Barbara Davis. She is a saint for what she's gone through. Amen. I want to tell you that even though I'm the one with all of the gray hair, Barb and J.W. are a few years older than I am. The first time that I ever saw them, I was in 7th grade. Remember? And my mother and father took all of us, we were living in Lake Worth, and they took us out. They said, you want to see football players and cheerleaders and all this? They took us out. It was the first year Cardinal Newman had a football team. Barbara Davis was a cheerleader. And I remember as a 7th grader, as we walked in the front, one of my brothers and I, we walked and I looked at the cheerleaders, and I can remember when I first saw her, I thought, as a 7th grader now, looking up, I thought, she is so beautiful. So after the football game, my mother then said, would you like Daddy and I to take you all over to see some of the Palm Beach County gangsters? So they drove us to a place called Pizio's. And J.W. was at Pizio's, and it was the first time I ever laid my eyes on him. And I want you to picture this scene now. We've just gone and seen the beautiful cheerleaders, the football players and everything. Now we go to see the gangsters at Pizio's. J.W. It's like September. I mean, it's got to be 90 degrees that night. And JW's there with one of these black leather jackets on. And here's JW with the black leather jacket. Cigarette goes in. Before he lights it, he just kind of looks around. After he lights it, he takes it out. We're just looking like this, and we're staring at him, and he looks over at us and just goes like that. Yep. That's the first time, and I can remember years later when I saw them and they were married, I said, what is wrong with this picture? Anyway, I do want to tell you this. I've gotten to know JW for many years. I've had him on the witness stand as an expert witness in a number of cases. We've had a lot of times on the boat together and scuba diving. I will tell you just briefly, this actually happened. J.W. Davis saved my life one day in about 120 feet of water. That actually happened. But I want to tell you about the real J.W. that a lot of you may not know about. They say that children have a very special way of knowing what's real and what's not. We have a lot of kids. My kids adore J.W. Davis. And when they first spent time with him, not only some of it boating, some of it out shooting, some of them just being around him when they would see him at a social event, they came to know about his leadership qualities. They came to know about the big heart that he had, the warmth that he had. And the thing that I can tell you is, when it comes to friendship, I cannot think of an individual in this world that is a more truly loyal and a truly dependable friend who will do anything in the world for a friend. And that is why I have such affections and admiration for JW. But we love you truly as a couple, the both of you.
Really starting to wonder if we're talking about the same guy I know.
We are.
I was just kidding, Barb. I'm sorry.
We are.
Barbara, be quiet.
Here it is.
Yes, I do. I'd like to invite Lieutenant Gary Robinson up, please. And John, thank you very much for your very kind comments.
Well, we'll get to that. I'll do it. For 23 years now, I've worked with, or tolerated, put up with JW. But there was one part of my career that was kind of auspicious, and that was when I was assigned to the evidence sections. And one of the things you had to do in evidence was you had to get rid of guns. And how we get rid of guns is we have to dump them in the ocean. And I had never been out on the boat with JW before. Well, I heard some stories about what happens when we go and do these gun dumps, because it was one particular lieutenant who was in internal affairs at the time that had to go with us. And he'd been there before. And he had kind of a look of fear in his eyes when I told him we had to do a gun dump. Well, we go up to the boatyard up there, and we're expecting to find him there at the dock, and he's not. Okay, Canonsport Marina, whatever it's called. One of those places with water and boats and stuff. But anyway, we're sitting there looking for JW. We can't see the boat anywhere. So this particular lieutenant sits down on a bus bench that's there. And I'd heard all these stories about these gun trips. Well, apparently they must have been true, because before JW and the boat ever got there, he was seasick, sitting on the dock. And we proceeded to, when he finally got there, load up, and it just got worse from there. But it was interesting, it was exciting, and I hope that that wasn't a true story about how you really are out there in the ocean, because I know it's not true, and the reason I know is he taught my son how to dive. And I think
that he is a safe diver because of him, and I don't think I'd have had anybody else teach him. And now I have, on behalf of myself, just to remind you of the uniform that you wore, one of every patch over the years for you. I don't think it'll hang on the boat, though. It doesn't have to. Well, you know. Stand by.
Don't you pick on him. He's my man. Don't you pick on him.
I made a quick run for the back. While I was back there, I heard a few comments, and the comments from some of the folks were, how about telling those noisy people in the back to hold it down?
Shut up!
Thank you. No, we wouldn't. This time I'd like to invite Sergeant Alan Ortman up, our cinema photographer.
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm going to speak on behalf of the group of policemen that came on with me and after me that know JW a little differently than the group that has come up to speak already. As most of the group that has come up already has embellished his accolades throughout his career, I'm going to just relate one story that I have of his waning years in the police department. For those of you, and I'm not sure everyone can appreciate this, but for those of you that have worked with JW, they will be able to appreciate this to the utmost. Picture, if you will, the old police station with the old lieutenant's office and JW in his old position of midnight shift, both feet up on the desk, kind of kicked back in the laid-back chair there with his hands behind his back in a restful, comfortable position.
Okay, Sarge.
Opposite his desk was the sergeant's desk where Sergeant Sowers was sitting at the time. During that time, a radio call went out where someone had driven to one of our local hotels and got involved with a young lady. They had a problem with an agreement over currency, and there was some gunshots exchanged. And a gentleman was struck with the gunshots, but was able to relate the car description and the car tag. Dave went to handle the call, and he began putting the description of the car out. Well, that description of a car matched the description of one of our police officers. And as the description was going out over the radio, this police officer showed up, off duty, and he marched into the lieutenant's office. Again, picture JW in the position of relaxed, feet up on the desk, Sowers actively checking the police reports. And the police report was going over the radio, and Sowers turned to the young man and said, "Hey, Ed, you just didn't shoot somebody on 4th Street, did you?" And Ed replied, "Yeah, man, he shot my ride." And then Ed proceeded to open up his shirt and pull his gun out. Sowers and JW, both being on the SWAT team at that time, reacted as quickly as humanly possible. Sowers dove out of his chair and grabbed Ed and pinned him to the wall, pointing the gun up in the air, in time to look back at JW, who had tucked himself under the seat, but his feet stayed right where they were.
What, my ever sitting again?
Barbara,
Come up here.
Barbara, come a chair. Barbara, hey, you, Barbara, you can sit down.
I'll move the mic back in a second. Thank you very much. There's one guest that JW gave me the assignment many years ago as we were sitting at a little lemonade shop in the middle of the Bahamas. I can't say exactly how he phrased this to me at that time. Something to the effect that, yes, it was prefaced with fat boy. When I retire, I want you to put together my retirement party. I said, okay. And blank, blank, so-and-so better be there. Well, I went to great lengths to do that. Unfortunately, this gentleman is not here. But I have a little video clip that I would like to play. And some of you folks in the back, if you would bear with me for the quality, just hold on for a couple minutes. That's you, Pat. You're to like me.
Drop that mic right down.
It's Jimmy Buffett. Sorry I couldn't make it to your retirement party, but I've been down in Jamaica dodging bullets from SWAT teams. They thought I was a smuggler. Can you believe that? Congratulations on 30 years in the West Palm Force. You guys do a great job. Have a great party. I hope you make it to Margaritaville, because I don't even know where the hell it is. Have fun. See you.
Anywhere you want it to be. Right here, right there, buddy.
Can I talk? Test. Test. You know the answers? We only got about 5 minutes left, folks, so hold on. And I apologize for the folks in the rear that weren't able to really appreciate what was going on. That was Jimmy Buffett. Many of you may not know who that is, but to those that do, you can certainly appreciate what you just saw. That was some behind-the-scenes footage from his concert in Miami that, as I mentioned earlier, that we attended, along with a personal message that I got today at 3:30 in the afternoon from him at his house in Palm Beach. And one of the comments that he made, for those of you that may follow the newspaper, there was a little incident in Kingston, Jamaica, where his plane was fired upon by the drug interdiction forces. And the comment that he made on the video was, "Can you imagine? They thought I was a smuggler." One of the other things that we received for JW is an autographed picture, and the caption reads, "To Lieutenant J.W. Davis, congrats, best wishes, Jimmy Buffett." At this time, I'd like Detective Dave Atherton to come up, please. Yes, I know they're getting restless in the back. I got their names, but most of them.
They're all paradise.
And now we would like to make a presentation of some gifts for Lieutenant Davis. Oh wait, I just found one here.
Oh.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. This is a check. Now, I'm going to introduce the committee here in a few minutes, but there was a committee that was formed to plan your retirement party. This committee went to great lengths. I'm sure you can appreciate that. Knowing that you had a membership at the Palm Beach Yacht Club, we decided that was the place to meet. In this envelope is a bill for $500. And we thank Dennis Duxbury for that in the back, who is was our mainstay, the main bartender.
Dennis, where's our main bartender?
Yes, you do have to pay for it. Not that you would have ever done that. Everyone in here, I'm sure, knows Detective Dave Atherton. Dave, as always, has been the integral driving force behind just about all the retirement parties here, I'm sure, over the last 10, 15 years, certainly. I'm standing up here, and I may get some of the credit, but Dave really deserves the majority of it. As always, he was the driving force. Thanks, Dave. At this time, on a more serious note, we have some gifts for JW. Dave?
JW, as we started to plan your retirement party, a lot of people come up to me and ask, what's JW going to do when he retires? Of course, we all know how you like the water.
I think I've been doing for 10 years.
Well, just in case you should ever come across some rough water, we wanted to make sure that you would be able to pull through. So this will help you bail yourself out. And if that doesn't work, you can shoot your way out.
It's not over yet.
And JW, when you were in your younger years, you were a gangster?
Close.
Well, you may return to that. This is your own private J.W. Davis retirement package. Irregardless what waters you sail, this will pull you through. You get to open it. Peace out there.
Oh, man. I think I've worn those things. All right, Skipper, I'll take care of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
You get up here and say something.
No, not just yet.
No.
Not just yet.
It's got to be on the paper.
On a personal note, I've been working with you for over 20 years, and I thank you.
Barbara is telling me she wants to say something, Russ, right here, right now.
Just very short. Can you all hear me? Oops. Okay.
Love that microphone.
My hat is off to Dave Atherton because this would have never been pulled through without Dave Atherton. Okay, I don't have my glasses, I can't see. Anyway, Dave, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And if you need any more help with the retirement party, just call me.
Thank you, Barb. Yes, we're just about finished in the back. I can hear you back there, yeah. Just hold on a minute. On a more, yes, I did say it 15 minutes ago. On a more serious note, there is one gift that I have that I would like to take and present to Lieutenant Davis. Unfortunately, my son is not here. He wanted to make this presentation himself. Many years ago, believe it or not, there was a party at J.W. Davis's house. I know many of you in here find that hard to believe. As I look around the room, I can see some of the folks that were in attendance at that time. Among the group in attendance was my 4-year-old son, who happened to be, at the time, playing in the pool with his little bathtub toy, Tufty the tugboat. Out of the corner of my eye, I thought I saw J.W. capture the tugboat. I really didn't pay any mind at the time, and then all of a sudden I heard him say, "Watch this!" And I saw Tufty headed out to the middle of the pool, and all of a sudden there was a loud explosion. Tufty was blown up in the middle of the pool. My son, 4 years old at the time, comes to me crying hysterically, "Daddy, he blew up Tufty!" Well, yes, believe it or not, he does have that sentimental side that many have spoke to tonight. He was so upset about it on Monday, he came to me, and I know Barbara probably played a large part in this, with 2 brand new Tufty the tugboats and a fireboat. Yeah, it's about your time. But anyway, here it is, and this is a dual-purpose gift. In the event that you have problems, not that you would ever have problems owning a boat and its operation, but if you do, the SS Big Bird will tow you in. Yes, it was. I know there's a few others that want to get up and talk, but right now, J.W. keeps giving me the eye, and I know that he has been anxiously awaiting his opportunity to say a few words, but one of the first things I want to ask him to do was a mistake that I made. Dave was nice enough not to tell me, but one of the first things he told me is, when you go up to the podium, make sure you get J.W. and have him introduce his family and friends that are sitting at the guest table. I apologize for not doing that sooner, but if J.W. first would introduce his family that's present, and then I'm sure he probably would like to make a few comments.
You know, it's so nice to see old friends out here tonight. Unbelievable. The guys that broke me in, the guys that I respected when I worked with when I was a young man in my formal years with the police department, the guys that we shared good times with, okay? Somebody that put up with it for all her life, the midnight shifts, the holidays that you weren't there for, the birthday parties you weren't there for. Somebody that shared the whole career, okay? And was very supportive of me through my whole career. That's my wife, Barbara, and I'd like to get up and... All right. Would you please get up? You sit up. For you guys that hung out with me years ago, the Round Sours, the Russ Bruces, and this and that, we know it trashed a few places. You always put up with us, okay? Good lady. Anyhow, fellow law enforcement officers, friends that showed up here tonight, I certainly appreciate it. You know, one thing that I have found over the years, one of the commodities you have to be a good police officer is a sense of humor. If you don't have a great sense of humor, you don't belong in this job, okay? There are so many stories that I can't go on and tell you about 29 years of police work. Where's Bob Van Reep? Where's Big Bob? Is Bob out here? Bob, would you stand up? Bob has been one of my... Now stand there for a minute, Bob. There's a lot of people out here who don't know you tonight. Bob has been on a diet for 28 years.
Yes, I have.
And I can remember one night we hired, do you remember this, a Hostess Trinky truck to follow you around? And we don't even talk about your career on the motorcycle. And I think Sowers had something to do with that.
Thank you very much.
So goes Bob's career. I remember Assistant Chief Bradshaw. I had to cut him down out of a treehouse one night with a chainsaw. Don't even bring that up. Yeah, but you want to bring that up? No, we'll leave it. You know, there's so many stories. The dive team has been, you know, just so great. Everybody supportive. I've always had such a great time with you guys, and the only thing I can say, fair winds, following sea, and God bless you. Spike the main brace.
Nice job. And you behaved yourself, too. My hat's off.
Stand by. Wait. 1 for 10 seconds, Rosie. 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, go.
Yes, we're drawing this to a conclusion. I'd like to take a couple minutes, and I would like to say a special thanks to all the folks that have come together to make this retirement party happen. And if you just hold your applause till we get to the end, please. I mentioned Dave Atherton and the great job that he's done. Without Dave, we would have never been able to take and do this. Dave was assisted by several of our officers, Dina Peterson, officer, and shall I say, promoted today, Sergeant Chuck Reed, Mike Licata, Barbara Davis, and she had her decorating committee. Her and her committee were responsible for all the fine photographs, the photo boards, the table settings, and the centerpieces. And by the way, Barb, I've got it written down. I know what I'm going to say. You're trying to stress me out. I'm nervous in front of a microphone. Thank you. Now I lost my place. Barbara Davis is in her decorating committee, as I was indicating. They are responsible for all the table settings, the centerpieces, which are very, very beautiful. Now, many of you in here are going to be fortunate recipients of those. So if you want to check, underneath each table there is one chair that has a ticket under there. And if you are sitting in that chair, you may take the centerpiece home. For a limited time only.
People looking, bro. I think you guys just got caught. There's only good on my mind. Yeah, there's no problem.
There's a ticket under there. Stretch a little bit. All right, we have a winner. Part of Barbara's decorating crew. First of all, one of her lead decorators. And if when I call out your names, if you'd just take and stand, please. J.W. and Barb's daughter, Kim. What do you want? Where's Kim? Off to my left, Stevie Wallen. Flo Laurels. And Jody Longshore. I know many of us in here have enjoyed the fine table fare that we've had this evening. Our hats go off to Harry, Georgette, and Dee Custer, as well as the man behind the bar, Dennis and John. Thank you very much. Also a special thanks to our entertainment director, Andy Preston of the Gator radio station. Yes, I realize he wasn't able to turn that up quite loud enough for many of you. We also, thank you. We also have Captain Charlie Tuna, Charlie Loveday. Charlie was largely responsible for contacting many of JW's friends from the outside of the police department and bringing them here today. Also hold it down, 30 more seconds. Also the generous contributions from F.O.P. Lodge number 2, as well as the city and county PBA. Thank you. I would also like to thank my secretary, who's not here, but she was responsible. If it hadn't been for her tireless efforts, we would have never seen that Jimmy Buffett video. She had the ability to charm and get through the blockers that apparently I didn't possess the same finesse. And last of all, for my wife, Chrissy, who's in the back here somewhere, who was able to take and endure those difficult nights that I had to go out and work on this entertainment committee.
Thank you very much.
But I'm not going to take my clothes off. I really want to thank everyone, and Russ did say everyone everyone that helped. It was fantastic. It was great. I would have never been able to pull this off without Dave Atherton and everyone involved with the police department. And my hat is off to every speaker that said anything. And everyone that goes home with the centerpiece, you can hang it on the wall. You can do whatever with you. And I got him, right? I don't know how good that's it, but I got him. Thank everybody.
One last thing for several of you that I've noticed that are rolling the beer cans across the floor. I've got a little poster up here, drink, don't drive, please stay alive, stay in the pink.